Hello. Take two. Well, it is the school holidays. The schools are at home. These things happen. Yes, my heart goes out to all of you doing the juggle right now. It's real, isn't it? Okay, so let's get back into this. Welcome, if you are joining me live, second time today, or whether you are watching at some point in the future. This is the second episode of the Luminary Business Blueprint accompanying mini-series. You can access the PDF document for the actual blueprint with the links above where you're seeing this video. And of course, it's on my bio and Insta and all that as well. And then these series, I've got 8 little mini lives to do with you over the course of the next few weeks, which is my way of helping you walk through and work through what those phases really mean. Anyone can read. I don't want to insult your intelligence. You've got the PDF, but if this is new to you, and this is just going to add depth to it, just richness, more technicolor, more pixels to your understanding and how you're taking something from a page and then actually applying it. Because the magic of what I bring is very much about nurturing and cultivating that vision that you have, helping you do that, and then making it real. That's manifestation for sure. I don't really use that in my, how I explain what I do. But it definitely is that. It's how you make dreams into reality. It's that practical steps. You have a vision for a reason. You have an intention for a reason. You have a flash of inspiration for a reason, and then it's making it happen, and all the stuff that goes with that. So how I help you with that in a nutshell is how we embrace, nurture, cultivate soul, spirit, and strategy for your ultimate success. We're here for a reason. Otherwise, why would you be here? So part of that, one element of that, is how you plan for success. Success doesn't happen by accident. There are no coincidences. So it does take aligned action, meaningful action that's going to help take you towards what it is that you can envisage that you want to achieve. And part of that, one way of doing that is to plan via the lunar cycle. It's how I run my businesses. And, I spent decades in corporate. And of course, understanding smart objectives, goal setting, targets, budgets, monthly, quarterly, half year projection, all of that. I know it, worked with it, understood it, but it was a learned behavior. I had to learn it. Didn't feel very natural. And I think I am absolutely advocating that there is an alternative way. And I'm proposing that if that doesn't work for you, traditional business planning methods, and when I say business planning, to be fair, that you could apply that. You can apply any of the planning technique to anything that you're trying to achieve. So it could be a project, if you don't use the word business planning. It could be a goal that you've got. It could be something more personal, not necessarily professional, business focused. It doesn't matter. But that kind of helps illustrate my point, that do you set smart objectives for that new car that you want, or that new holiday that you want? Or we don't. We don't. And by and large, you don't. Maybe one of you, if you're watching this, you probably don't. But I don't know anyone who does. And that, so that illustrates my point. There is an alternative way. And if you have, grown up on a very masculine, I would call that out as arbitrary way of fixed, planning against the calendar, and against, just these very masculine drivers. that doesn't work for you, there is an alternative, and that is working by the moon. So that's kind of the impetus of why I think the Luminary Business Blueprint is needed in the world. It is there as an alternative that actually, and it goes beyond just being a tool as well. It's multidimensional, as you'd expect. It's multidimensional in that by tapping into that natural cycle, we are getting closer to a connection to that natural cycle, that nature around us. Just because it's in the sky, that's still natural, and nature, it's, I think of nature as a woodland walk, but nature and natural go hand in hand here. And it's, just because it's cosmos, that's still part of us, and it is still, part of our life. People have been following the moon and its cycles for millennia, and it's part of why we're still here on the planet today talking about it now, because it helped our survival and thrival by harvesting and hunting and understanding that connection to the all of everything that we have. So it's a multidimensional, it's a way of getting an idea and helping it to come to fruition, tick. It's a way of connecting to a natural cycle that is there no matter what, which then brings us closer to that soulful and spiritual way of being. And in my book, that is what is missing for that ultimate success. Most people aren't living their dream life, fact. And for me, that is partly because they're not using soul, spirit, and strategy. So by connecting to that soulful and spiritual-led approach, connected to nature, all of everything in the cosmos, then you can see the enrichment to this outcome, this being, your being, while you're working through what it is that you want to achieve. It's more aligned. And when things are aligned, they're easier. The flow is easier. And that means the energy is going where you want it to go. And it's kind of a beautiful combination. It's like raising, it's everything, when everything's working in concert, it's the orchestra, isn't it? And it's working together. It's far more beautiful than trying to swim against the tide, of which, of course, the moon has influenced, created. The moon governs our tides, does it not? So that is why we've got the Luminary Business Blueprint out. It's for you to use, and why it is so important. It is a tool for planning, but it is more than that. It's also a way to connect to yourself and think bigger. And by doing that, we are more likely to be more successful in our dreams and aspirations. And you and your dreams and aspirations are worth it. So the phase that we're in now is the waxing crescent. And what that means is waxing and waning are the two main terms either side of the new and full moons, which represent, when it's waxing, it's growing bigger. That always speaks to me like waxing lyrical. It's getting bigger. There's more of it. Waxing is getting bigger. So from now until the full moon, the moon is going to appear bigger and bigger in our sky. We're going to see more of it. It's not necessarily bigger. We're going to see more of it. And then we get to full moon, then it starts to wane. And, waning is that getting smaller, withdrawing kind of vibe. So at the moment then, so we had the new moon on Sunday. And so since then, we're going to be seeing a slither more, a slither more, a slither more each night. And we are in that waxing phase. So at the moment, so tonight's sky, you'll see a waxing crescent moon. I guess that's the physical. That's what you can see. And what does that actually mean? So energetically, the themes of this phase are about energizing those intentions or goals, if you want to use that word, that you set on Sunday. If you didn't set them on Sunday, it's not too late. Never too late. You're always where you're meant to be. You're never late. But let's go back and watch the first video, and you just plot out what it is that you want to achieve. What are your intentions over the next lunar cycle. And when I say lunar cycle, you can look at that as a 28-day or 6 monthly, because we can look at the. I explain that all in video one. We won't go down that detail right now. Okay, so set the intentions back on Sunday, and so now over the next couple of days, it's all about how you energize them. How do you fuel the momentum? So there is a drive, there is a push. Now, if that feels too masculine for you, then let's think about creation, let's think about life force, and let's think about passion. Okay, so how are you breathing that into your intentions? It's like, it's that, let's not have them as a piece of paper or a list on a digital device somewhere. Let's breathe life into them. Wholly feminine view of the world. So, and this is that. So that is, it's optimizing. It's taking it. It's giving, breathing life. It is breathing life into what it is that you set out to achieve. Look out for the opportunities. Optimize opportunities. I guess it's that, right? Being really primed, really full and fueled for what you want to achieve. Momentum building. There is a propelling, a catalyst vibe to these few days, which is so powerful and so elegant in the sense of that we've just set them. So now we're going to have this energy to make it happen, to bring it forward, to like really get us moving forward towards that soul goal and that intention. It is supercharged right now, because of Lionsgate portal. And like I said, if you want to know the detail of that and how that's impacting life more generally, then join me over in my Facebook group, and we cover that shortly. If you're watching this live or within a few hours, it will be on the 8th of August at 5 p.m. So I might change that to be 8 p.m. actually. Okay, so juggling bedtimes with the littles. Okay, so that's the theme. Very specifically, also, I will mention it because it is the moon, but again, it won't necessarily apply if you're watching this in the future. Right now, the moon is in Virgo, which is a fantastic alignment in terms of creating systems and processes and efficiency. Virgo is all about service and productivity, efficiency. There's a health angle to it as well. Self-care, self-love, self-compassion piece. There's a sovereignty to it, which is the way to look at self-care as far as I'm concerned. But it's that, how do you get the most? It's very earth and grounded. How do you make these things happen one step at a time? Putting in systems and practices is very Virgo, aligned to what you want to achieve for your greatest good. No doubt in service to others or yourself. So that is aiding this energy right now. But generally speaking, and especially if you're not watching this live, any waxing crescent phase, any time of the year, will feel like momentum is building. And momentum builds from momentum, by definition. It's that taking aligned action, and it builds and it builds. So if build is masculine, so it's that creation. I said in life force, how you're breathing life into what it is that your intention, your aspirations are. So you'll most likely feel that kind of quickening pace right now, which again, like I said, it's just the elegant solution. It works. It just is that natural. And you set the intention, and now it's time to make them happen. It's time to live and breathe them. It's time to add fuel to them. So how do you apply this to your business planning? So it's the case of knowing what those intentions are and creating a practice of revisiting them. And I would say daily. I do mine in the morning. I use various, journaling templates, ways to focus what I'm doing in alignment to those intentions, in alignment to a yearly cycle as well. And it's asking yourself in this phase, what can you do to add octane fuel life to those intentions? So being really mindful, really deliberate. And this is the secret. None of this is hard. Oh my gosh, none of this is hard. But people just don't talk about it. But it's a gift right there. If you want to optimize your success in anything that you're aspiring to achieve, this is how you do it. So having those intentions, create a daily practice, revisit them. And at this particular phase of the cycle, it's about asking yourself, what can you do to optimize opportunities? What can you do? What actions can you take that is going to fuel what it is that you're intending to achieve? What do your intentions need for them to flourish, to bloom, to achieve what it is that you want with bells and whistles on? And I guess there is that quickening, and there is I'm using words like build and drive and push and catalyst, which is masculine. But I would say this, and I think this is hugely empowering. This is for this phase of the month. It's not going to be like this all month or all lunar cycle. It is, and that's the point. That we have times of the cycle to be more rah, 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 go, go, go. And we have times to be more withheld, more still. So knowing that's coming, knowing that you haven't got to hustle forever is, oh my God, how enlightening and empowering is that? So that's not now. Now is the time to really aim for the stars, go big, go all in. This is the moment to do that. And I promise you, we will be talking about it in a few weeks' time as to when we don't do that. Because you can't do all things. You can't be all of that all of the time. That's not how it works. It's not how it works in nature, and it's not how it works in us. So just bear with. If you think, oh my gosh, this is feeling too masculine, you got rid of goals, but we've just replaced it with octane and catalysts, and oh my gosh, Greener, what are you talking about? Bear with, and just trust me that we're going to work through this. This is the time. This is the time, and I would say actually that maybe that's where things haven't worked so well for you in the past. Is that there's misalignment, that you feel that pendulum swing, you listen to all the gurus, you listen to all the advice, all the mind monkeys, and they'll be telling you, oh, it's not working, do more. And if that's not at the right time of the cycle, that is like swimming in treacle. And then that further makes you feel rubbish. And then you question yourself more. So then that's going to really feed the ego, your subconscious, the stealth shadows. It's going to feed that for sure. So let's break that out. Let's not do that. We work in concert with the lunar cycle and the energies that go with it, then that's the gift that we've got. So as I said, this is the time to go all in. We're not doing that all month. Cycle. Moonth. They used to be called, they were moonths. Okay, so I said taking the aligned action. So there's kind of the practice that you want to get really, really honed in on is looking at those intentions, asking yourself what it is that I need to do. What are the aligned actions that I can take today, tomorrow, the day after, and or plan it, but the aligned actions that are going to add extra to your intentions, and then do them, schedule them, and whatever it is that comes to you, then follow through. Action leads to action, which is momentum. And it is that vibe of go all out, knowing you don't need to do that all cycle. So that is the waxing crescent. We are building up our energy. We are aligned to what we set out to do from the start of the cycle. We've sown those seeds, and now we're adding fertilizer to them. We're going to keep that analogy. We're adding fertilizer now to the seeds that we've planted, so that we get the best crop, the best harvest. Okay, my lovelies, apologies for the interruption and the need for take two. I should always say that if anything like that happens, if I have to come off, then I will always come back on if you're watching live. And I, depending on what was said and how far we got into the first one, I may remove the first one if it almost seems pointless. But nonetheless, power to all you parents doing the juggle. It's real. Okay then, my lovelies, download the PDF if you haven't. Join me in Stars and Shadows if you haven't already. And I look forward to sharing episode 3 with you, which is going to take us to the next phase and how you apply those energetics to leverage and maximize your ultimate success of those dreams and aspirations that you have, because they're yours for a reason. Take care of you.